Well, Brad, must be particularly frustrating for Jared Wade.
Yeah, it is. After the initial frustration of generating 8 shots at goal and kicking one of them, the injury just compounds that. So he was in really good touch in the off season and had some, I think, designs on a full season. And we've always thought if we could get Wadey out there for a full season, he's still capable of career best form. So hopefully it won't be too long. We've got a pretty good example so far of a similar injury that Jed Anderson had in the pre-season, and he got back quicker than we thought. So hopefully it's not too long.
So best case, what could it be?
Oh, look, we're sort of anywhere between rounds 5 and 6, somewhere around there would be a great result. But that's what we thought with Jed too, and he got back potentially a little quicker. So it's surgeons say 4 to 6, and we're hoping to do a bit better than that.
How does the structure change during that period? Do you look for other players just to step straight into his role, or will you do things a little bit differently?
I don't think the structure will change too much in Jared's absence. It might change just because of other personnel being available. We think Mason Wood's very close to coming back from a hamstring injury. Majak Dawes back in the mix. So there's a few different options for us, but it won't necessarily change just because of Wadey.
Give Majak a chance for a prolonged run in that key forward position?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, he kicked 4 goals in our elimination final loss last year, so we were hoping to get some really good continuity into him after that. Look, and all things being equal, I think he would have played round 1, but he just has had another interrupted pre-season, so he wasn't quite ready last week, but we think he's very close this week.
Brad, North Melbourne's always been at the cutting edge when it comes to innovation in footy, with night footy, Good Friday footy. Would you have liked to have seen the AFL try a Twilight Grand Final?
Oh, look, to be perfectly honest, I don't have a really strong view on it. My question more is to what do the fans want? I think if you ask, I'm sure you're going to get different views no matter who you ask, but my thoughts are that players and coaches will play at midnight if the AFL want to play it then. We just want to play in it. It's what the fans want and what the greater footy community think. I think that the players and the coaches will adjust to whatever the AFL throw at us. But if you want to do a survey of the most important people, I think the fans come in number 1.
Do you think it's Gil McLachlan said today, it won't happen this year, but it's inevitable. Do you agree with that? It's inevitable, you've got to try it?
Yeah, I think the prime time factor of it, when we go way back into the VFL, it became, VFL footy was something that was ingrained in tradition, and people just, grand final day was a pretty holy day, for all footy fans. But now we're appealing to a national audience, we're appealing to potentially an international audience, then the prime time factor does certainly become an issue. So I can understand where they're coming from, but I think for players and coaches, we just want to be in it. Play it whenever you want.
What do you do with Patrick Dangerfield? He was unbelievable against you guys last year. How do you approach him differently this time? Yeah,
he was unbelievable. We lost a few guys in the second half in that game, and then he really got off the leash. I mean, we had, I think, Dal and Andrew Swallow were out there, but were injured, so it's hard enough to go with Dangerfield when you're fully fit, let alone when you're hobbling around. So we'll have some probably 3 distinct plans for him and try and counter him. But people have tried lots of things against him in the past, and he's a Brownlow medalist for a reason and probably favourite to do it again. So we're going to have to be flexible with the way we go about it and not just go with plan A and hope it works.
Is the day of the hard tag over? I mean, you had Ben Jacobs, who was fantastic for you. Unfortunately, hasn't been out there, but it doesn't seem like anyone tagged anymore.
Not at the moment, but I think it'll change. I think it's still got a really important part or role to play in the game, and put it this way: if Ben Jacobs was playing this week, he'd be playing on one of 2 guys. But we don't have him, so we've got to adjust around that and work out who's best to take those specific matchups while not taking away from our attacking flair in the midfield.
Aaron Mullett, a potential in. Is that more about his form or some defensive shortcomings last week?
No, it's about his form. Again, he had a really solid pre-season, but then he had a bout of pneumonia, which set him back a month or so. So he was in really good touch on the training track through the pre-season. He's really well prepared, but then just missed out on round 1 just due to that illness. So he's right to go again. Played really well in the VFL last week, so we'll bring him into our team. I think he's a pretty important part of our back half.